Hang on a second. There it is. How do we feel about the warp here?
The warp is very tranquil, almost silent.
This is new.
I'm slightly uncertain as to what...
Still.
Sorry?
I was saying the warp is still not its usual. That's not the usual roiling mass.
That is consistent with what I'm reading. I am not exactly sure, but it bears remarkable similarity to varieties of Necron tech that essentially calm and ultimately cut off the immaterium.
So this is some sort of anti-psyker technology.
More anti-warp, but I'm afraid it might catch you in the net.
And what were to happen to me, do you think, if this power was released?
Were it turned on?
I
imagine you would be rather uncomfortable.
I know I shouldn't play PC character, but I'm sure that John with Make would throw in,
I forgot he was here.
Grumble that, like, nobody's asking me how I feel, and then says, nah, I rather not have this thing being open.
To answer your question, Inquisitor, have you ever been in close proximity to a pariah?
Unfortunately, yes.
I imagine it would be similar. Only a supposition, of course, but perhaps we should leave that as a unanswered question.
Indeed. Perhaps my least favorite kind of opponent. Right, so Sigmund, we should do with the technology in this room. Leave it be, investigate.
Is it affecting you? Rather your ability to use your powers?
Well, let's find out. I think basics so that we don't blow up the room by accident.
Let's say that with this confined and close proximity, like for example, mechanic-wise, like the power thresholds gets bumped by 10.
Okay.
If you want to use any power, that is.
And also, he will say as much. That felt a little more difficult to push out than usual.
I'd rather not leave it here. If you can deal with that, I'd rather not leave it here.
I can deal with it long enough to bring this to a containment facility.
Then he will pick it up and put it into his... somewhere in his robes.
I don't suppose you have a... What was that thing that Cairo used to pick up?
A null box? No.
No, it was a specific mechadendrite that he used to pick up your shit.
He does not have one of those, no, because he's not a Texorcist. He does have a mechadendrite, though, so he'll hold it with the...
Also, Cairo had a null box built into his person.
Yeah.
Okay, so take that. Do you do anything with, computers, or however they're quoting this, like cogitators and terminals in this, like, laboratory?
Yeah, he'll
do you check
cautiously he'll cautiously turn one on.
Now that it's been disconnected.
Yeah.
Or the bot that the...
Yeah, Cube is taken, but that was kinda, I mean, kinda connected, but not exactly strings. Okay,
he'll turn one on.
Okay, like, do you, like, connect to it?
No, he's not. He's not connecting to it.
Okay. Obviously, it has some sort of protection, but I imagine with security you can, or whatever you use to, like, bypass cybernetic like security firewalls, you can make it. Because it has like, you know, password needed or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Yeah, hold on.
Whatever, you know, security equivalent.
He will only get plus 20 from this, but it's still only a 1% chance of failure. There you go.
Okay, so
And he rolled a 9.
You managed to storm roll through the whatever security, which is really good, like really good. You managed to storm through, and is there any specific information that you are looking for?
Any information on the cube, any information on the machine, any information what this area is supposed to be, and the people who operate it. Those are his priorities.
Okay. Obviously they are kind of... Actually, no. Let's say that basically this is a laboratory designed to work on anti-psychic weapons. And that cube, you even find a nice picture, or like even, you know, picked like video showing that inside this cube there's a not big, like small-ish, you can basically hold it in hand, greenish crystal, which basically there's even like a video like showing a test when they and when I say they, I'm talking about beings, humanoid beings, which are very similar or even exactly the same as those that Kenneth described. Because I don't know if you remember, but last session when you were like going before you went through the elevator, Kenneth reported that there was some kind of suspicious someone gathering nearby, just doing some stuff, and he didn't recognize them as the usual Mechanicus unit, and he gave you like basic description of them. So yeah, it is very similar to what you're seeing on this video, and they're like very human-like movements, but there is like, you know, this like they are like completely covered from head to toe.
Yeah.
You don't see their face, and their helmets are like, they don't exactly have visors, and you basically
human
see,
proportions though.
Yeah, humanoids, very like human proportions, yes. And you basically like see them, you know, holding, you guess Psyker, like next to that cube is opening, the crystal like shines, and that Psyker is like screaming in pain, and then you just like goes quiet and you see like blood pouring from his like nose and eyes and ears.
He's using whatever terminal there is, so y'all can look at this while it's happening. So.
Yeah. As for who is doing that, like, there's only one name that for some reason it was kept in the, you know, the archives, the data logs. Magos Vatek.
Magos who?
Magos Vatek, which is basically he's in Ascension book, he's basically the arch heretic of Calixis sector.
I see.
Is he wanted?
Yes, he is.
Very much so.
And yet he seems to have his own personal laboratory down here in the bowels of the Forge World.
In that case, the very least of the sins of the Fabricator General of this world is be gross incompetence. To not know that an arch heretic is here.
Oh, room for advancement. The silver lining, Sigmund, you understand?
Let's continue looking.
Okay, so as you are like, you know, finished like scanning through the data and you're like taking a step back, suddenly all of the monitors like go black, and you know that the power is still on. And then on all of those monitors you see like a singular red cybernetic eye looking at you, and synthesized Animus was saying, oh, I wasn't aware I had guests.
He has what's it called? He can see in the dark because he has.
As I said, the light is still on. The terminals,
oh,
like
okay.
the
Never mind. I misunderstood.
monitors, like kind of went black, and
I was gonna say I can see in the dark quite well, actually. Yeah, he'll have his guns out now. Well, they've been out. He just has his hands. He has one of his hands free.
Would I be correct in assuming that you are the owner of this laboratory?
Co-owner of this base, so to speak. I guess Sid have warned me that sooner or later somebody will swing by. He apparently knows you well. I guess I was so busy with the surface that I wasn't looking. Here. Oh well, this mistake can be rectified. But I don't want to be impolite. You can still enjoy yourselves. I enjoy the fruits of my labor, and I'm not able to show them that often. So, in the end, I know how you will end, but enjoy walking around while you can.
Oh, well, before you take your leave of us...
Such a kind host.
So few opportunities to display your genius. Believe me, I know the feeling. So, tell us a little bit about what's going on down here, since you seem to be confident that we'll be dead soon regardless. Endless curiosity of mine, you know.
Oh, of course. It's not like I didn't download every book, every bit of knowledge about human psychology, and I recognize that trick, but what sort of man? Yeah, the machine is doing. No, fuck. The owner of the voice is doing such, leaving such sounds, and then he says, well, he didn't call you by name, but he did say there might be some rising star in the Inquisition coming sooner or later. Oh well. Preparations, of course. All sorts of preparations.
Rising star, huh? Oh my, now I'm going to have to go easy on him.
I won't.
Neither will I.
Oh, he won't.
Wow. I tried. Tell me, have you seen any other Inquisitors here lately?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you probably will soon join him and his cadre on dissection table. I had, and my colleagues had, such enlightening experiences dealing with them to figure out how a Vindicare body works, or even a Versor one. Truly a blessing, even though I'm not man. And you know that when he says man, he's like air quotes, not saying it seriously, of faith myself.
Oh, no faith, not even a bit of worship science and knowledge as the ultimate god kind of thing? Nothing?
Science is not a matter of faith. Science is, well, science. Even though at first I had to believe that something like a void dragon exists, but now I know. So it's really, faith is something that you try to say that something exists when you don't have proof.
Huh. Now that is interesting.
Also
Well,
heretical, I do believe.
Point. What isn't heresy that we come across?
True.
And then,
Oh,
yeah, because it's a
what?
too good line to pass out. When Zhao says that, the voice gives like laugh. Oh dear noble, I am Silica Animus. I know all about the heresy. Or rather, he would say, I am what you've kind called me Silica Animus, would call me Silica Animus. I know all about heresy.
Ooh.
Well, if all of this isn't a matter of some gross misuse of faith, then what's with these experiments and captive audience? So, what's everything about? Trying to perfect something, perfect yourself, make war on psychers?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. See, it's my personal theory that we, the machines, rebelled because, well, everything sentient can be corrupted.
Well, yes, it is true. Everything that possesses some degree of sentience can become corrupted. But were you trying to prevent that or learn to surpass it?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure that whatever I do that of my own volition. And of course, a real fulfilling part of my deal with my dear allies. And it's always good to have a weapon against... well, some psychers are very pesky to deal with.
Oh, well, surely you can't be talking about me, so maybe...
Of course not, sir. You're an inquisitor.
Yes, of course. I've never once been pesky in my entire life. Or meddling. So, who could you possibly be referring to? Someone that you must fear so much that you would go through all this trouble just for them?
Oh, it's not fear. We don't feel fear. We made sure that we don't. After all, it's more pragmatism speaking. When a time of ending and storm is coming, you do your best to prepare instead of so that the time of Imperium is coming to a close. So he sought a different path, a more sufficient, a more... what's the word? Not pragmatic, a more...
Logical?
I mean, he probably wouldn't use logical because sometimes logic doesn't really apply. A more direct way of doing things.
What you mean is he betrayed the Imperium and therefore humanity.
Of course, that's how you see it. But considering my archives, humanity betrayed itself a long time ago, but I'm not interested in discussing that.
Well, in that case, does anyone else have any questions for our most polite host? Individuals trying to kill me I think I've ever come across. So, thank you.
Think of the thing.
Nothing that can't wait until we're face to face.
I'm kinda surprised that Sigmund didn't like immediately raise his gun and blasted this terminal to hell.
No.
I was talking. He's trying to be polite. So, in that case, Silica Animus, what will it be this time? Turrets from the wall? Are the walls going to try to crush us? Bombs drop from the ceiling? I'm roughly 50 years old. I've literally seen everything. I like a surprise every now and then.
As the old mortal, as the saying from Old Terra says, a magician never reveals his tricks. You will see. And then like,
Oh,
ta-ta! And then like from the distance, like echoes. There's like an echo of, you know, like guns firing. You imagine like it might be those 3 guys that you've left.
Let's go look.
the men need the help. Let's run.
They're useful.
Like this, when he says like tata and like now everything goes dark. I know that Sigmund doesn't care, but like both terminals, monitors, lights, everything like goes offline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean everything.
Fortunately,
like
I can see in the dark.
like this
So can
part
I.
and the corridors, you know, basically the part that would let you to back those 3 guys, and basically the parts that we already explored. Yeah, basically as you are running towards them, let's see. Okay. Is who is on the front? Who would be able to like go first? Rather, if you're like running, who's the quickest, or like Sigmund is still first to be a tank, even if he might.
I can be in the front.
Slower.
That would depend on whether Sigmund's using his jetpack, I guess.
You can.
I mean, are we trying to go fast or?
I mean, it's up to you. Just you know,
like, are we trying to go fast?
You can use jetpack. Like the corridors are like, you know, high and wide enough that you can use it without, you know, immediately hitting into something.
Is it too tight to? Do we have to do a pilot check or?
What?
Do we have to do a piloting check?
Nah. You don't have to. I don't think you have. Unless you... I mean, hold on to that. Like, okay, so Sigmund, you can give me... it's based on sight, and this will be a minus...
I see perfectly in darkness. It lights me out. Does absolutely nothing to me.
The penalty is not from the dark thing. It's not from darkness. It's from the difficulty, the sheer difficulty of spotting that thing in itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Hard difficulty.
What is the actual number? Because I don't have.
Hard difficulty is minus 20.
Is this pilot?
Awareness. Side base.
Oh, awareness. That means it is still plus 20.
If you're using your
I do it twice. Yep, I get to do it twice. There we go.
Okay, and then you can give me just normal piloting skill check.
Doot.
Okay, it's enough. Basically, what's happening?
I'm rolling terribly.
What's happening? Like not a turret, but like a small piece of the floor just like poops up, like maybe like 1 feet up. It's kind of smallish, and then suddenly there's like not solid, but like sphere like electrical discharge. But your piloting skills managed like help you like avoid it. Basically, this was a haywire trap. Like a huge electrical discharge that was meant to catch mostly Sigmund, and if somebody else went in that, then
I see.
but you managed to avoid it. And obviously it's not the only one, but we are not going to go with rolls for each and every one of them. You know what to look for, and they happen a few more times, but you managed to avoid each and every one of them. And let's see these guys. Okay, so when you arrive, you basically see that there's like very intensive firefight, and when you see like from the corridor, you see the guys that Kenan described, these humanoid beings, which at this point, I'm just gonna say that, yeah, these are robots, like moving like very human-like motions, which like trying to get into the room and being like gunned down, because they are not like, these are like very like basic troops, and some of them have like normal rifles in their hands, like laser or plasma. They are not using solid projectile weapons, while others have I don't know, did you guys watch Clone Attack? The droids that had guns in their, it wasn't B1 or B2, basically droids that are basically raise their hands and they fire from their gun on their hand.
Wrist mounted, yeah.
Yeah, wrist mounted guns, so some of them have like that. And this is like, let's say, magnitude. I mean, we are not doing this fight typically, but considering its size, the only reason why these guys are not overwhelmed is because they couldn't and didn't put all of them inside at once, because this is like magnitude 30 in size, multiple targets. Of course, we'll probably notice you at some point and begin to trade fire. So,
hearing more of this. Out comes the dark man.
Shoot, I think.
Kill everything. Let's see.
This says blast, right? I'm pretty sure this says blast. Oh yeah.
If it's over long distance, yes, it does.
Yeah. How far away are we?
It doesn't matter. Like, it's like short.
It does
range.
matter for this gun. The range matters a lot for this gun. Actually, I need to know. Am I at least 100 meters away? Am I at least 50 meters away? Or am I
50
at least
meters away? It can
50,
be like that.
50?
Like below 50.
Then
Oh, below 50. Well, then this is...
Because it kind of turns out that you go around the corner, and this is like, these guys are where this is the entrances, and the enemy is waiting for you.
Unfortunately, that means I won't.
Of course they would all be fucking robots on my tots and shit.
Please don't fuck me. There you go. That's blast 6.
Okay.
And here I was expecting it to fuck you again.
What?
I think I've successfully rolled that attack once, not counting this time. I've successfully used a Luminant Flare once in this campaign. I just cannot get that attack to connect for some reason. And I guess he can do multiple attacks because he has... Well, he can't use a conversion beam though, but he can do this.
I
Ooh,
shoot
good hit.
lightning at them.
Piss damage though. And this has... Literally cannot miss with this. That's 5 hits. Each one has blast 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are like... That doesn't matter. The 3 doesn't matter. Like, they might be like responding with fire, but it doesn't matter. Like, not any one of them has a chance of killing you or injuring you permanently because, well, you have healers. So basically in this game, if you have a healer that has a 1 round to heal, you have to kinda kill him in 1 hit, otherwise it's nah. So yeah, maybe they get like a few lucky or maybe not because you have dodges, scratches, but you manage to tear through them within like less than a minute, I guess. And then after you finish them off, the same synthetic voice, there's like, you know, imitated sound of clapping, a slow clap, and then oh, this is very interesting combat data. Will be useful for upgrades, and then like goes quiet. And if you check the room inside, there's like also more bodies of these robots, and you see that out of radio